Hey, so I thought today I would do a little update of garden things because I haven't touched the garden in a couple of weeks. We got really cold and really warm, and then things happen and other things get done first, you know. So today I wanted to do a little garden update. It's pretty much all dead. I'm gonna be completely honest. We've had some really low nights, and then we're back up to the 60s and 70s right now, which is nice. But it did not do wonders for the plants. So we're gonna start here. That's my dog there, and that's my kids mess with my sand I use for making cement pots. They got into the bag and they were at the beach. What are you gonna do? Adorable little toddler imagination. So I pulled out all the coleus here already. I left the poppy. The poppy's a perennial, and she's actually pushing quite a bit of new growth. So if we stay in the 60s for the next couple of weeks, we may get another poppy. We'll see. It's a beautiful poppy. I wish I have a picture somewhere. I'll try and find a picture and put it up. But I don't have any video footage of it because it was early spring when it bloomed, but it was beautiful. I did save seeds, and I have a couple trying to grow in the basement right now. I have to clean that out still. That all went to weeds. And this is Balder. He is our Beagle Pointer, and he is a very handsome boy, and sometimes a good boy, but most of the time he's a runner. Anyway, so I still have some things in here. There's some little flowers going on. Trying to push. I got some alyssum. I'm leaving anything that is still blooming and not dead because we still have little native bees and ladybugs and butterflies fluttering around, and I don't want to take away their food source. But I need to get in there and pull that. That thing is horrible, but the birds have been in here loving it, so you know, you leave it and it spreads, but really do you not want to feed the birds. Next year I plan on putting in a whole bunch of edible berries for the birds, not for human consumption, but things that the birds would love, so I can make sure I don't have any of this that could be toxic to my animals on the property. But right now my dog can't really get in there. He doesn't try to get in there, so I left it for birds foraging. Area with the hibiscus has mostly gone to weeds. I haven't had time to get out here and take care of it. We had a issue at the end of summer and early fall where we had hornets in our tree, and to be completely honest with you, I'm terrified of anything that flies and stings. So I did not come out here to take care of this. I just let it go. But in the winter, I'll clear it all out. I have some other things I want to do back here. Next spring, I want to cover all that with something like a structure of some sort. I want to put a bird bath in here. The hibiscus will get bigger than they were this year. And I want to plant some annuals around the front and make it look pretty. But I want to add extra water features for the birds for this upcoming season. And then as you can see, we're starting to take out this tree. This tree is where the hornets were. This tree is dying. It's hollowed out at the bottom. It needs to go before it either falls onto power lines or falls on our house. Yeah, so then we're getting rid of that. My husband's already started cutting down some branches that he can easily take down, and they're just snapping like twigs because the tree is dying. We've seen a ton of woodpeckers on there, so that's where I kind of was a little suspicious. There was areas where the leaves weren't growing anymore, and then I saw the woodpeckers and I was like, nope, the tree is damaged. The tree's got to come down, but I am going to replace it because in this area I would like to do a whole row of different types of trees. So I'm thinking some crab apples and some evergreens up there, but we are going to eventually try to level this out a little bit, have somebody come in and professionally level it out so we can do a patio over here with a fire pit. And yeah, so we don't want to go too low with the trees. I'm thinking all the way up there along the fence. The fence will eventually get redone because it's got a lot of gaps and holes that we have had to patch because our dog is a runner, and right behind there is a cornfield, and that's just his favorite thing to do. So here's my already started this project, weeding. Yeah, this is our other pup. This is Baven. Baven is a very winter dog. You will see her outside with us a lot in the snow because she will bury herself in the snow and she is there all day. All right, so moving on. So over here, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen my wildflower and weeds post because this was covered in morning glories and wild grasses, and it was stunning. We're not doing that next year. We're gonna actually clear it out because it ends up looking like this, and then we have to get in there and take it all down. But I do want to do something in this spot next year, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do. I'm thinking I might take I'm obviously going to take all of this out. All this has to go. I might mulch it heavy over the winter, let some of that wood chip break down, and then if you can see, you probably can't see, but back here there is silver maples. They pop up all over the place. I want to get in there and take those out because I have some other places I'd like to pop them in. But I'm thinking I might leave one here and then make like an area for my girls to climb up there and just sit under the tree eventually and read and have a nice outdoor naturey space. And then over here, just a brief, quick little addition, we are going to be completely transforming this shed into my workshop. My husband and I are trying to figure out how we can make it happen. I'm not going to go in there right now because it's dark. We have to figure out, the electrical line is up there. We got to figure out how to get the electrical in there, actually working. I'm gonna paint it, gut it, paint the inside. I'm changing the door, and that will be where I do a lot of my projects. This will be a dedicated workshop space that I can use for my crafting and DIYing. And okay, so this area, I have the mums that were left over from my fall display. I put them in the ground. They're pushing some new green growth, but I'm going to deadhead them in the spring. I'm kind of hoping they might seed themselves a little bit. I have some alyssum, and then of course weeds, because like I said, hornets didn't get back out here. This tower I built at the beginning of summer. I'm probably going to build another one. I will probably not stain it orange. I'm not a big fan of the orange. It was supposed to be like a cedar color. I'm just not liking it. So I may take this one out and spray paint it, or I might throw a darker brown stain over it because that's just more my style. But I want to definitely do another one because I want to mirror it on the other side of the front yard. And then these are our spruce. We have 2 of them. They will be mentioned either in a video before this or after this. I don't know what order I'm putting up the Christmas crafts. But we trim it up because when it was hitting the ground, we couldn't walk on this pathway. So we do limb it up, and I don't mind the look of it being limbed up. I've seen them where they're dusting the ground, and that's great if you like that look. I like to be able to walk on my pathway without getting attacked by branches. There's another one of the silver maples sticking up out of the ground. That one's already started losing its leaves. That one's going to get moved too when it goes dormant. We have these yew bushes everywhere. I want to eventually take them out, but for now we are just making them square. My lavender is doing pretty okay. It may get moved in the spring. I don't know yet. I do have a plan for a bunch of lavender that I'm about to seed. The astilbe has already gone dormant. These hydrangea are doing what hydrangea do. I'm hoping they get a little bit bigger next year. I had some hydrangeas started from cuttings from my cousin's house. Windstorm came through, destroyed them. So I'm gonna have to do that again next spring. Tiny little baby and jammies. We are going to be redoing this walkway eventually because it's all broken up, and I want to do a flower bed that attaches here and kind of curves in here so I can do tulips and daffodils and early blooming things, I think is my plan. I have some tulips and stuff planted in the ground over here. They came up last spring. I'm hoping they come up again. We'll see what happens. But the squirrels have been a lot worse this year. Pumpkin patch is all covered up for the season. I got to go out there and pull some grass because it got warm, so the grass started popping up, but it's already mulched over. More yew bushes. This is a rosemary. When I planted this, it was this tall. This teeny, like, this is how tall it was, and this is just boom. Great. So I like that. I might do a couple of more rosemary because it's a great plant to have around. All right, up here, this needs to be weeded. I know, it looks horrible. It needs to be weeded. I need to do a thicker layer of rocks too. We are planning on continuing the pathway down though, so we're still working on that. I probably should have put landscape fabric underneath it, but I'm not a huge fan for landscape fabric. Put these bushes in recently, and the fountain grasses are still doing really well. The salvia's got to get pulled, the peppers got to get pulled, although I'm surprised with the cold weather we've had that they're still on there. But I've been leaving them because the birds have been foraging in them, so I just left them for the birds. I'm going to continue that way with some more rocks, and I'm putting a tree there. The tree is coming in December. Okay, so this is the box I did for the fall plantings. The peas have gone crazy the past couple of days. They're not ready to pick yet, but we've got so many peas on here. Lots of pea flowers. That's pretty exciting. I'm never sad about having a new flushing of peas. They're not climbing the way I want them to. That's fine. I can deal with that because I've got lots of peas in there. We've already pulled the radish out of here. We got a couple of handfuls of radish. I didn't plant a whole lot of seeds. The spinach got completely eaten by a squirrel. I was expecting it was going to be bug damage that I had to deal with in his bed, but it was actually a squirrel, and he kept popping my net off, and he had a couple of snacks in there. The chard's doing well. The turnips are doing well. My cabbage and lettuce didn't really get much bigger than when I put them in the ground. They did get eaten up by the cabbage butterflies. I'm just leaving them to see what happens. I've got leeks that are still going since spring. They're getting nice and big. Yeah, I got more cabbage, more lettuce, more leeks. Leeks are a big staple for us. I like to make them soups and stuff. Strawberries are going dormant. More leeks over here. My garlic is starting to put on some growth, which is nice. I've already started pulling things. I got the zinnias pulled out over here. This bed's doing nothing. Just nothing. That was all beets. I don't know what's going on under, but on top, there's not a whole lot going on. All right, so that's pretty much it for my whole garden tour. I don't have a whole lot going on. It's almost winter. Everything's died. Everything is going dormant. So we will have a couple more garden projects here coming up pretty soon, because I did order 10 trees from the garden, from the Arbor Day Foundation. I have gotten from them before, and I've always enjoyed getting things. I know there is mixed reviews online about that situation. I think the last order I got didn't do so well, but that was completely user error. I did not follow the instructions. This time around, I have done a lot more research, and I am ready for my 10 trees. One of the trees is going right here behind me. 3 of the trees are going up in the front. 2 of the trees are going in the backyard, and yeah. So I will bring you along with me when I go to plant those trees. I'm really excited. They're flowering, all flowering trees for spring that also show some fall colors. So that is our video for today, and that is the tour of our garden, late fall, almost winter. So I hope you enjoyed this little trip around my garden, and we'll see you next time. Bye.